lessons have we learned? Learning curves will depend on passenger demographics. We have had different, depending on areas, whether it's the different traveling clientele or the different areas of the world in terms of the willingness to look at new technologies and automation technologies, that does have a difference. You must have a realistic use case, from an airport and an airline point of view. Why are you doing this? A perfect example was we looked at one airline that was had a 777, and they were looking at, maybe redeploying some of their gate agents, and they wanted to go from 5 to 3 gate agents using this, and it was very successful. And we're actually able to board a 777 in 30% less time than they did previously with 2 less people. We had another airline who was looking at doing a Boeing 737 and going from 2 gate agents to 0. Well, that's not realistic. You can never remove the gate agents, because once people get confused, they don't know what to do, and queues start. And so it's very important to understand, what is the use case? Why are you trying to implement this technology? Lessons learned: increased throughput should be achieved. As we said, we've had a number of examples where, one, it is a quicker journey through the airport, and we're able to board aircraft much faster than we have before. Typically what the statistics we have seen, the time it takes from a person to walk up to an automated boarding gate, and then it basically takes your biometrics, it sends the biometrics out to the biometrics matching database. For example, the one we were looking at was the TSA. It confirms the match, and then it sends that match to the airline departure control system that allows the gate to open and registers the passenger as boarding. It takes less than 2 seconds to do that process. And so from one passenger going through the gate to the next passenger going through the gate can be around 4 seconds. As I said, you can board larger aircraft in 10 minutes or so, and even some of the double deckers in less than 20 minutes. So it significantly improves the throughput that both airlines and airports are looking through. That is very important for airlines, because obviously turnaround times are very important for them. One, from a fuel burn point of view, the longer a plane sits at a gate or waits to get into a gate before they can depart, it costs them money, as well as the on-time statistics and any potential fines they can be for not being on time. The solutions are not plug and play. This is, I think, one of the most important lessons, and what stakeholders should expect. You can't just put the solution and expect it to work day one. You have to have a dedicated staff for a certain point of time that is making sure is educating the public, is educating their own staff in the best way to use this. There are nuances in terms of airport lighting, in terms of where the cameras are set, in terms of the demographics of where you put the machines. A perfect example of what we learned was in one trial, we actually put yellow footprints at the base of an automated boarding gate. And we would take one picture that would send to the matching database. And what would happen would be, people, when they see those yellow footprints, tend to look down at the yellow footprints. And so when the picture was taken, the picture caught the top of a person's head, and then it was rejected when, it was sent to a database, because it obviously could not find a match. So what we do now is that we take a multiple set of pictures to make sure that if there's any kind of distraction, that one of those pictures, and we now have machine learning, artificial intelligence that learns how to detect this is the best actual picture of a face, and it'll send that picture back to the matching database. And so now we're starting to see for actual people, in terms of matching who are correctly in the database, over 98% matching. And the ones that typically are rejected are ones that should be rejected. One, because maybe they're missing travel documentation, or there's something specific that a gate agent needs to talk to that person about. So you should be able to get very high levels of accuracy. Another very important issue is to make sure that the airline headquarters and the local ground staff are aligned in the desire to do this. We have seen cases where potentially the airline headquarters is very excited about doing a trial and implementing this type of solution, but the ground staff had not been notified and were not really on board with it, and you're not going to have the same type of success rate and smooth operation that you would normally have. Significant cost savings are achievable by using this in terms of the operations from both an airport and airline point of view. And then finally, to maximize the value, you really need a complete end-to-end solution. Instead, the trials at a single point like boarding or bag drop are useful, and with one airline are useful, but to truly get the full value from an airport point of view, you really need to have it at every touch point, and also you need to have multiple airlines. That's when you get the true value in terms of increasing your throughput through the airport and customer experience improvement.